For thousands of years, Native American societies understood the world as a place where the physical and spiritual were deeply connected. Illness, weather, animals, and human fate were not seen as separate forces, but as parts of a single living system. At the center of this understanding stood the shaman, a healer, guide, and interpreter of unseen forces whose role was essential to the survival and balance of the community. Shamans were not chosen by wealth or power. In many nations, they were recognized through visions, dreams, illness, or extraordinary sensitivity at a young age. Elders observed these signs carefully. A future shaman often experienced long periods of isolation, vivid dreams, or a powerful encounter with nature. These experiences were understood as a calling, not something to be sought, but something to be accepted. Training could take years, sometimes decades. Shamans learned the properties of plants, roots, and fungi, understanding which healed wounds, reduced fever, eased pain, or calmed the mind. This knowledge was practical and precise, passed orally from teacher to apprentice. Mistakes could be fatal, so learning was slow, disciplined, and guided by experience rather than belief alone. Ceremonies were central to shamanic practice. Drumming, chanting, and rhythmic movement were used to alter consciousness, allowing the shaman to enter a trance state. This was not seen as performance, but as a tool, a way to focus the mind and reach a state where insight became possible. The steady beat of the drum was often described as the heartbeat of the earth, grounding the ceremony and guiding the shaman's journey. In healing rituals, illness was often understood as an imbalance between the person and the community, the body and the spirit, or the individual and the natural world. The shaman's role was to identify the source of that imbalance. Through song, smoke, touch, and focused intention, they worked to restore harmony. Some ceremonies involved the use of sacred objects, feathers, stones, animal bones, or masks, each chosen for its symbolic and practical meaning. Vision quests were among the most profound spiritual practices. Young individuals, often at the threshold of adulthood, would travel alone into the wilderness, fasting and praying for several days. The goal was not survival, but clarity, to receive guidance in the form of dreams, visions, or encounters with animals. These visions were interpreted with the help of a shaman who helped translate personal experience into cultural meaning and responsibility. Animal spirits played a significant role in shamanic belief. Many Native American cultures believed that animals possessed wisdom and power that humans could learn from. A bear might represent strength and healing, an eagle vision and connection to the sky, a wolf cooperation and loyalty. Shamans did not claim to control these spirits. Instead, they sought respectful relationships with them, often calling upon them during ceremonies for guidance or protection. Fire, smoke, and sound were constant elements of ritual life. Sacred fires represented transformation and continuity. Smoke, often produced by burning sage, sweetgrass, or cedar, was used for purification, cleansing individuals, objects, or spaces before important events. These practices were grounded in both symbolic meaning and real-world effects, such as calming participants and creating focus. Shamans also served as advisors. They were consulted before hunts, migrations, and major decisions. Dreams were taken seriously, especially those experienced by shamans, as they were believed to reflect underlying patterns in the world. Weather signs, animal behavior, and unusual natural events were interpreted not as superstition, but as information requiring careful thought. Importantly, shamanic practices were never uniform across all Native American nations. Each culture developed its own ceremonies, symbols, and interpretations based on environment and history. Arctic shamans worked closely with marine animals and ice spirits. Plains shamans focused on bison and sky powers, while southwestern traditions emphasized earth, rain, and fertility. Despite these differences, a shared principle remained. The world was alive, and humans were participants within it, not masters over it. When Europeans arrived, many shamanic practices were misunderstood, feared, or actively suppressed. Ceremonies were banned, sacred objects destroyed, and spiritual leaders persecuted. Yet the knowledge did not disappear. It survived quietly, passed through families, preserved in stories, and practiced in secrecy when necessary. Today, many Native American communities are reclaiming and protecting their spiritual traditions. Shamanic practices continue in modern forms, blending ancient knowledge with contemporary life. These traditions are not relics of the past, but living systems of understanding, reminding us that healing, balance, and respect for the natural world remain as relevant now as they were thousands of years ago.